Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It's time for yet another Hearts of Iron 3 tutorial. I'm your host Galvin, and this is where we're actually going to be talking more about war theory than anything else, and how to actually fight and win. Now, right now I'm going to tell you this, the Battle of France is lost. I should just be fleeing for my life. Not even going to lie. But, you know what, for the sake of everything, I will try. But we're going to need some help from the Royal Air Force. Let's have everyone rebase to Dover. They're pushing us out there. Okay, we got y'all. Alright. So, we're going to filter out some of our interceptors here. Alright, we have a group of strategic bombers. Now, up here we have a national unity value. In order to make a country capitulate, you must conquer victory points from them. Victory points, if you click on the VP map mode, are the colored ones. Yellow means they are neutral, red means they are your enemy, green means they are your faction. And on the diplomacy meter, there's a certain number of victory points in the world, and we can see who controls what. There's still a certain percentage that remains neutral. And thus, those bars will not add up to 100% all the time. Keep that in mind. So, basically, when the game ends, when there is only one faction left, the faction with the most victory points wins. That's for the timeout at 1948, if the war still happens to be going on. Or if you can fulfill enough of your victory conditions. Each faction will have 15 customizable victory conditions. So, you know, Belgium, Greece, Norway, and all that have to be ally members. And controlled by them, for example. Those are important allied goals. And if you complete, I think it's 12 of them, you win. You just win. Victory for you. Likewise, you automatically lose if an opponent completes 12 of them. That's pretty much all I have to say on that. So, that's the thing. So, in order to make an opponent capitulate, you need to control more of their victory points than they have national unity. So if Germany has 100 victory points and a national unity of 90%, I need to control 91 victory points to make them surrender. Now, unfortunately, there are not too many ways to reduce it. Here we are. So we can go to the entire conflict. We've taken some losses on our yeah, we can see our tonnage losses and stuff. And I think it's high time we pay the bastards back for what they've been doing. So, here is Dusseldorf. Oh, wow, we actually can't range that? Damn. God, we suck, apparently. I was hoping we'd be able to range it. Oh, wow, that is our range. Alright. I think, actually, we should probably just drop the naval bombers, then. As nice as it would be to have them, they're reducing our guys' range. So now we should be able to bomb Dusseldorf, yeah. Now we have decent range. And we can do something that's called strategic bombing. With any factories or resources in a given area, primarily given the highest value targets with low AA protection. So, if we want to go to Dusseldorf, we're going to do that. And just look at that IC go down. They have absolutely no anti-air capacity in this province. So, they just got bombed to the Stone Age. Like, boom, 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 boom. Boom. Dusseldorf just no longer has any IC. This has all been damaged and requires significant time to repair. Like, that will hurt the German war machine. Like, I have IC bonus. They'll have an IC bonus roughly of 60% or so. So that means I just took out 9 plus 60%. So we'll say about 15 IC, roughly. 15 or so IC. 14, 15-ish. So, you know, if you spread out your bombers and hit a lot of important targets, you can quickly start seeing how important this is. And you can do a lot of damage. More importantly... Wow. A lot of places have already taken huge damage. We don't want to do that there. They have no IC there. I generally want to avoid places that are strong AA. Gotta be careful. Yeah, you know what? Bremen's alright. We'll bomb Bremen. Boom. Just blown up. So yeah, you can hurt the German war machine a fair bit by doing that. And eventually, sooner or later, this should come up. English Channel. Good. So. We unfortunately have lost that amount of IC and resources from our convoys. So, you know, if we lose 400 IC, or 400 coal up here, we've effectively lost 200 IC that we can generate with those resources. As long as we have a positive income of resources, it generally doesn't matter, though. So, you know, this is just naval, so let's go to air. Our losses, really? Wow. Apparently, we're not even making a dent compared to what they're doing to us. My bad, apparently. Yeesh, we need to start this sooner. And we're going to need to apparently start defending ourselves a lot quicker than I thought. So, I'm going to give you guys the order around London here. In particular, we're going to change things up here. We're going to put them on air intercept. Target a region... Target a circular area. How do you do that again? I'm trying to remember how this works. There you go. There. So I sized up the circle by clicking out. And basically, we now have a giant circle. If an enemy plane enters this region, they will attempt to intercept it. You can also do various other things. We want them ready around the clock. So anytime the Germans try and come over here to bomb us, those interceptors will scramble. I actually think I just did it with naval bombers. I might be an idiot. Yes I am. Naval bombers are not what I would be interested in sending up, thanks. We would definitely be more interested in sending up these guys, I think. Interceptors do a lot better job at intercepting things than bombers that can be launched from aircraft carriers can. That's what naval bombers are, by the way. Alright, where were we? Oops, right. We were giving you guys a mission. You can just do this. Boom. Yeah, giant protection ring. Pretty much anywhere enemy planes pop up, they will try and intercept them. So, simple stuff, right? Unfortunately, the tide here is turning. We'll send in a couple more dudes. Try and keep that battle going and try and resist for as long as we can. So, you know, sometimes better have reserves there. Now, unfortunately, we can attack provinces with, you know, provincial AAs, but it's a bad idea too. Ooh, Cologne doesn't have any. Go for it. Bomb Cologne. Boom. Oh, you don't actually have anything. Yeah, that was a poor idea. There's another particular attack you can make called a ground strike, which I will demonstrate here. We're unfortunately under attack from multiple regions. But I can fix that, to a degree. We're going to do what's called a ground attack. This will simply mean that the bombers will target those that are attacking us. We lost the battle, damn. Withdrawing. But our bombers are coming in here, they're dropping bombs, and making attacks against the infantry. We've won the Battle of the Breton Coast. Excellent. So yeah. Oops. We won the Battle of the Channel Approach. We have, luckily, a fairly sizable fleet, so we're generally able to track them. Like, the larger your fleet, the more detective it can on, say, submarines. Spotting, as well as radar and ASWs, that's anti-submarine warfare, will all make your ships better at detecting submarines. It may also just be detected like that because I have Fog of War off. I'm not 100% certain. It's mostly for tutorial purposes so I can show you guys what you need to be doing. I usually play with Fog of War on. Alright, so what else do we need to do? Yes, right, we were talking about combat. So, generally speaking, you want to try and hurt the German national unity. Currently, they're at 89.4%. which is pretty high. D-high. Ah, dear. So it'll take at least a lot of bombing to try and bring them to their knees. If you get their national unity low enough, it can generally actually be pretty easy to just sort of waltz in, take over a couple cities, and finally force them to surrender. You can use spies as well to lower national unity, and I highly recommend doing that. Although we've got some covert operations points, it's kind of nice. We're actually going to disrupt their national unity. Like, that's going to become the main focus. We're going to pump disrupting national unity. Now, strangely enough, the intel screen doesn't give you the most accurate readouts. Like, it's not telling me the exacts of everything. And I find this really interesting for national unity, because I can just go over here and check what their national unity actually is. It's 89.4, despite what my intel tells me that it's 97.5. I can tell you right now my intel is wrong as shit. Alright, this is a lost cause. We need to get the hell out of here. Everyone retreat. And unfortunately, it looks like Jen is... Wow. Is a puppet of Japan. That's never good. Alright. Trade. Yeah, sure, a little money. Money, by the way, only used for trade. That's why I haven't really talked about it. So we have some new submarines. That's nice. And a destroyer flotilla. Good. You can generally deploy them at any port, or if it's a unit anywhere that, you know, has access to your capital. Meaning I can't really deploy them in North Africa directly. I'll have to transport them, but that's fine. We're the United Kingdom, and damn do we rule the waves. Rule Britannia. Really, France? Alright, you can try and take back Norway, I guess. This is why you always lose Paris. So, where were we? Right, battle theories. So, that's how you pummel an enemy into submission. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. Some other concepts for battle you have to watch out. We have talked about before, which are supply lines. And, you know, this really only applies if you're the United Kingdom or outside of Europe. You need to be able to move supplies through. And for overwater, you need convoys. I actually don't even have enough convoys, do I? No. I need to build more convoys. Like, get me some freaking convoys. Holy crap. Convoys allow you to transport resources from your home region, in this case the British Isles, to other places, and vice versa. They're also needed sometimes for trade. For example, if I'm going to trade with the US and buy a bunch of resources from them, I'm going to need to supply a lot of convoys to, you know, do so. And depending on various techs, in particular sea lane defense, you can bring a number of escorts on a convoy. These are the number of escorts I currently have available. And these will reduce their casualties if they happen to, say, be attacked by submarines. So having a spare number of escorts is important. They're generally pretty cheap to build. They aren't even tied to anything. They're the same amount for everybody. You know? A lot of other structures too. Radar is interesting. Like, I will actually never lose sight of some points because I have a level 5 radar station. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can see all the way to Alast, no matter what. If I were to turn off debug fog 4, for example. Which I will. There. You'll notice I can see somewhat into German territory. This is thanks to the radar station. The radar station is basically a site. It doesn't tell me what they have, but I can tell there are units there. And I can tell other things to a certain degree. You know? It gives me some data. Not all the data, though. And as I upgrade a radar station, like if I were to upgrade this to level 10, which is actually not a terrible idea, then I'll be able to see, you know, halfway over here. It's more or less it. I think it's not based on province. I'm pretty certain it's based on distance. So I don't need to worry about it too much. And as for other things, like I can see this stuff here because I have a bunch of active spies. The active spies are telling me where some of their troops are. They're again not giving me too much info. If I wanted to get more info, I would have to go on military espionage. Also, covert ops allows me to attempt a coup. It also allows you to do some other things. If we bring up this tab here, is it this tab? No, it's this tab. So I click on a province, and I can spend covert ops points to do certain things. Which, for example, I can spend 2 covert ops points. Well, no. It costs 15 to improve my speed through a particular province. It's good for a quick little rush, for example. Steal local battle plans. Increased intel levels. Sabotage the area. Which reduces the enemy speed. Which is good, you know. Salt the earth just a little bit. Generally speaking, you don't need to worry about covert ops too much. It's generally the only reason you want covert ops points is for committing coups. You know, be a real shame if World War II never starts because there was a coup against Hitler, backed by the British, and restored a German democracy. Wouldn't that be something? It is definitely something you can do. But generally speaking, you'll want to disrupt the national unity. You want to do about as much damage to the German national unity as possible. That's the wrong bar. And everything from bombing to raiding any convoys they have. You know, you can see what's going on here. Boom, boom. Yeah, we're doing terribly here because I'm more so trying to focus on providing a tutorial than actually fighting this war. Which is why I'm trying to tell everybody who can to run the hell away. Just get out of here. Like, we can't save them. Everyone out. Like, everyone run for your lives. The problem is the Germans are too hot on my tail. And I gotta keep running. A few men have managed to get away from the constant conflicts. But it's not looking so good. I have to constantly tell them to retreat. Italy has stabbed the US in the back. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to write these guys off. Yep, they're dead. They got encircled and they're killed. Unfortunately, that didn't go so well, huh? Alright. Let's have them get over to the French ports. Oh no, Italy's invaded our North Africa holdings, where we don't have much. We have some stuff, but nowhere near enough to hold off Italy, unfortunately. But hey, you know what? We did at least manage to get some of our troops out of there. If you're Britain in this scenario, don't try and save France. It's generally impossible. I need to select the boats. I'm a moron, I know. Wrong province. Please transport the units there. And rebase. There we are. Alright. So, good. Well, we apparently have... Oh no, those are bombers, right? They're still bombing the crap out of everything. We actually lost one of them, unfortunately. But you'll notice we're actually doing a lot of damage to a lot of their units there. One of the strategies that can work with Germany is you can just beat down their manpower. Remember, if they run out of manpower, then their casualties kind of become permanent. Kind of. You know, all depends on how fast they're regenerating manpower. Like, I'm getting 22 per month. Germany, probably not quite as much. So, you need to be careful about that. Don't let your manpower get too low. It can be rough. Alright, let's see. So what else do we need to talk about when it comes to battle theory? We've covered most things. I suppose we could cover naval invasions. In order to do naval invasions, it's pretty simple. It's actually not worth me covering. It's like, you take one of 3 kinds of things. You take, like, landing craft, or transports, or the other thing I don't believe I have researched. Yeah, assault ships. Landing craft, assault ships, and and transports. These have varying effectiveness. Load them up with some dudes, and right-click on a port controlled by your enemy, and there's a little invasion button. Obviously, can't do it because there's no troops loaded onto them, but, you know, there's that. Similarly, if you happen to have transport aircraft, you'll find that there is a... No, there isn't. There isn't, but there will be, I guess, if you have actual transport planes. That is to do paradrops. In addition to this, I should probably go over some of the different kinds of things you can do. If you read over this, there are different things you can do. Runway cratering, catch aircraft on the ground. That'll damage the airbase, as well as any aircraft landed at it. No, that'll just damage aircraft landed at the airbase. Installation strike attacks radar stations, rocket testing facilities, and nuclear facilities. So that can be useful for some things. In particular, logistical bombing is useful because bombards any infrastructure and supply dumps. You can actually destroy decent quantities of your enemy's AA. Like if I select logistical bombing and then go to supply map mode, I can only show you ours, but you know, we have a lot of supplies stored in some regions. The greener it is, the more supplies we have stored in that region. And in particular, we have a ton of this stuff. Like, local supplies, 17,951. That's up at the top of the screen. If you want to bomb London, you can, and do a lot of strikes, you can destroy a lot of local supply and fuel here. It's pretty good. You know, and there will be other points where there will be supply depots. For example, all of our African supplies are coming in through Alexandria. And this is the supply node, as it were. And there's 277 stored there. If, for say, North Africa, you may choose to, say, try and take out the Tripoli port and bomb the supply as well. It can work. That is a valid tactic. And, you know, can be considered. So you need to kind of watch out. And what you do with your bombs is up to you. And you're going to need to find the best tactics to win. I generally prefer strategic bombing and ground support. I've found, if you want my honest opinion, the best way to destroy Germany is not to bomb their industry into submission, but to bomb their armies into submission. Germany has a great weakness. They have less manpower than I do, but they gain a little more. That's fine. That's mostly because they have service by requirement. 31 sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. Not against, say, the RAF. Like, if I were to set up and build a bunch of tactical bombers, like a lot of tactical bombers, and start rolling out a bunch of tac bombers, and start running round the clock, you know, destruction of their soldiers, I can cause and inflict a ton of damage on them. Significant quantities. We've already seen just how much damage that my bombers have managed to do here. Keeping in mind that, you know, there's 3,000 troops in each one of those, we can guesstimate 500, 100-ish casualties have been inflicted. So my 3 bombers have already inflicted 1,000 casualties. Now, 1,000 casualties sounds like a lot. It's like, oh my god, so is all of his manpower? No, not quite. You'll actually notice a surprising thing here. The strength of 3k for a motorized brigade is actually only about 3 manpower. So we've destroyed about 1 manpower, which isn't very much, but we were using a total of, remember, like 2-3 bombers. And they're not very good bombers either. So if, you know, you get a squad of like 50 or so going, over the course of like a month, you can start taking out, you know, like 20-30 manpower. And keep them suppressed, forces them to spend a lot of manpower, and then suddenly they're not going to fare very well when Barbarossa rolls around. This is just my opinion. Feel free to do different things. In fact, I highly recommend experimenting and trying new things. So, yeah. I think that about wraps it up. Patrol. Let's see if we can't catch a couple of German fleets off guard. Intel gives us a suggestion of where some of their fleets are. Oh no. Wonder attack here. And we can see various things. Naval combat is slightly different. Just transport flotillas. They're trying to flee, as you can see. Why the hell are you patrol? What the? No, go home. I said, go the hell home, you stupid idiots. What happened to my, home fleet? Come on. Patrol. So yeah, we'll try and sweep them up in, regions around here. Also, you'll notice that, carriers carry the air wings here, which are CAGs. Carriers don't have any attacks. They simply rely on their use of air in battle. Protect the carrier on which it's based from the air attack and bomb any fleets the carrier is fighting. That's CAG duty. It will engage anything the carrier engage. Halifax speech first. Winston will become the head of government. We can report that Portsmouth Malta convoy has been under attack. We lost transport. Oh no. So yeah, you can do some damage to the national unity. You see, we're losing that due to convoy and ASW warfare. Gotta be careful of that. We've actually managed to catch and get rid of most of the spies in our country. So I'm going to change over focus onto raising national unity and a little bit left over on counter-espionage. You want to try and keep your unity as high as possible. And now they're saying German national unity is 70. Freaking 70. Can you believe that? It's 88.3. Like, if you do enough, you can bomb them down into submission. Get them to require far less to surrender. You'll find it generally works better on certain players. Like, Germany's very hard to bomb into surrender, but Italy has like a national unity of 50%. No, 80%, really? I thought it was higher than that. Or lower than that to start. The Soviet Union, I think, has 70? 77.4. Not great. So, it may work. Your results may vary depending. Seriously, France? Really? Yeah, looks like Paris has pretty much fallen. So yeah, about a regular start to the war. Okay, yeah, you guys can stop. And just go rest and recover. So, this is the basics of war theory. Now, I've covered this before, but I'm going to do this one last time. And we're going to hook this up. So, where's just a group here? Alright. We're going to unhook them from the hierarchy. Goddamn jerks. Germany enforced the fall of France on France. The Vichy regime. Yeah. Destroyers for bases. So, each division, which we talked about in the production episode, on its own is okay, but it needs to be, worked into your command hierarchy. The command hierarchy is actually very important. Each level of it gives various bonuses, and you want to make sure that a command hierarchy is properly structured. Unfortunately, you'll find that most command hierarchies at the start of the game are not structured properly. Here's how you want it. Each division here, we'll use London as a supporting, I suppose. Let's get them out over here. We're just going to unhook them and sort of make our own miniature command hierarchy here. Alright, so we'll want to create a new corps. So this corps, the first corps, is storming our beach in Malta. Jesus Christ, really? Wow, they're actually winning the battle. Even then, it's iffy on if they will get through. We'll see. But, yeah, where was I? So, the command structure is actually very important as a result of each level giving bonuses. So we're now going to attach this unit into the hierarchy. You can attach a total of 5 to a level above it in the hierarchy. So that means I can attach 5 divisions. This is only 4 because I'm too lazy to find another one. But you can attach 5 divisions to a corps, 5 corps to an army, 5 armies to an army group, and 5... Actually, I think you can have unlimited army groups to a theater. Don't quote me on that, though. I haven't gotten an army that big to find out, honestly. So, let's assume that we had, say, multiple corps. We can create an army to attach to it. And then from this army, we can create an army group. And from this army group, we can create a new theater, but generally speaking, you just want to attach it to, say, the home command theater. Now, each one of these will be headed by a general. This one doesn't actually have a general. What level a general can command at depends on his skill. Or not his skill, sorry, his rank. So, those who are rank 3 command armies, those who are rank 2 command corps, and those who are rank 1 command divisions. So, we need somebody to rule the army group, so this guy's skill 4, and he's rank 3 already. You can promote and demote at will, but I'd like to remind you, demoting will reduce his skill. So avoid doing that when you can. So don't promote too many people, otherwise you might find that you are unable to put commanders on your lower things. Now, each level of the command hierarchy gives different bonuses to the units. I actually have to open the wiki because I don't remember them. I remember the army group gives supply throughput, depending on the Hearts of Iron 3 wiki. Like, I honestly don't even remember this. But I remember it's good. I remember it's very good to make sure that you are set up like this. You should not have steps missing under any circumstances. I don't care what country you are. Your command hierarchy needs to be set up this way. There needs to be a theater, an army group, an army, a corps, and a division. This means that the maximum benefits is given to everybody. It costs a teeny tiny amount of manpower and IC to reinforce them, but it's well worth it. Alright, let's see. Command structure. I think there's a whole page for it. So, let me read off the bonuses real quick. Let's see. Does it? No, does it even tell me? No, it frickin' doesn't. You useless wiki. Here we are. Here we are. Yeah, here we are. Each skill level of the leader will do the following, depending on what it's assigned to. For example, a general assigned to a theater will reduce the stacking penalty by 1% per leader skill level. The army group, not supply throughput, sorry, reduces supply consumption by 5% per leader skill level. So, I generally think that's the most important one. Army, the regular army here, will increase the organization by 1% per leader skill level. Corps, improve chance of reserve divisions entering combat. It doesn't say by how much per leader skill level, but, you know, a certain amount. And division, increase combat efficiency by 5% per leader skill level. Now, in addition to this, all generals come with a trait. Defensive Doctrine, in this case, which just gives us a flat 10% bonus. Others may not be so good. Old Guard, minus 50% experience gain. Now, depending on what level they are governing, they will apply this trait to a degree. So, for example, if he's leading a division like he is currently right now, that is applied 100% to these units. 100% of it. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, no, this is a division, so he's applying 100% to it. If he was leading a corps, like Alexander is here, unfortunately, this is only 12.5%, 5%, and 5%, because corps is only 50%. But you have to remember that a corps oversees, hopefully, 5 divisions. Which means, hey, that's okay. It becomes equal if you have at least 2 divisions. And it becomes, you know, technically, mathematically better if you have 3 or more divisions in a corps. So generally pretty good. Army, 25% effect. Army group, 12.5% effect. And theater, 6.25% effect. Theater doesn't sound like it's a lot, but you have to remember, theater will probably be applying it to pretty much your whole freaking army. So you know what? An extra 0.6% attack and defense on my entire army? Sure, why not? No, not even that much. 0.6. Hell, not even that much. Actually, would it be that much? Yeah, it would be that much. 0.6. So, you know, that's okay. I'm alright with that. Extra 0.6 attack across that. And, you know, if you stack them at a couple levels, so, you know, I got enough people with defensive doctrine, you can get it up pretty high for the units that really need it. So, you know what? That's alright to do. And that's how the command structure works and why it needs to be followed rigidly. Generally speaking, at the start of any game, if you are not immediately in a war scenario, dissolve your command structure and rebuild it. Rebuild it from the ground up. It's very important that it is maintained in the way that I've showed you. You want 5 corps, you want your theater, and you want however many army groups you can fit in a theater to it. Alright, we'll start at the bottom. You want 5 divisions in a corps. You want 5 corps in an army, and 5 armies in an army group. You know, if you don't have enough guys to fill it, that's fine. You just have the army group and then the first army or whatever, or the first and second army, that's fine. But, you know, as you fill up, you'll need to create more and reorganize your division structure accordingly. And if you do that, you can apply decent bonuses across your battle. And it's also very important to remember that, you know, they get various things, various bonuses. So, unfortunately here, we have, for example, this HQ, which is a corpse, doesn't actually have anything attached to it, probably because I stole stuff from it. It is just a corpse, and is attached directly to Southern Command, which is an army group. That means it is missing out on the army bonus of increased organization by 1% per leader skill level, as well as whatever bonus the army gives it. Like, say if he had offensive, he'd get, plus all the people in that army would get plus 25%. What is it? Plus 25% offensive. No, 25. Plus 2.5% offensive. So, you know, be careful about that. And make sure your command structure is solid like that. You will find that your troops perform much better in combat that way. There is one last thing to note, that they do have various arrows. Each thing has a range. For example, a theater has actually a really far range. Like, it has the ability to communicate with things really far away. But a corpse, on the other hand, can't actually do that. Like, hang on here. Let's connect it to the Army of India. You'll now notice that this line is red. And this is because it's out of range. If it's out of range, for all intents and purposes, it's not actually part of the command structure and receives no bonuses. So, attaching things to things that are super far away is not great. You want to keep your corps together because corps have a very short radio range. Whereas theaters, as you might imagine, have a significantly larger radio range. And thus, you know, can communicate with a lot more. So, how you choose to destroy your enemies is entirely up to you, but I think I've given you most of the tools that you need. Again, if you have any further questions, please ask in the comments. I will answer them the best I can. So without further ado, thank you everybody for watching this tutorial series on Hearts of Iron 3. I have been your lovely, lovely host, Calvin, signing off.